Hi everyone, I'm Alpha from the Wall Times, and today you'll know why Star Trek Deep Space Nine is the best produced in the Star Trek franchise. Star Trek Deep Space Nine is the third series in the Star Trek franchise produced in the 90s at the highest of that franchise, but unlike the other shows, this the story is set on a space station rather than a ship. The show takes place in the Bajor system near a stable wormhole that connects one part of the galaxy to another part that is 70,000 light years away. The show doesn't use the alien of the week and solving formula that the other shows uses, like Over Reliant Voyager or Maverick TNG. Don't get me wrong, it does use it from time to time. The show makes use of stand-alone episodes in a relevant way, either for making an exciting 45-minute mystery-type episode or a social commentary type one. Some of the stand-alone episodes will have the hair on back of your neck standing, like Duet, The Visitor, and Civil Defense. These are all great, but DS9 isn't like other shows in Star Trek in the sense that it has a story that extends throughout the entire show's run involving the Gamma Quadrant. This review will contain spoilers since the show's been off air and we feel like spoiling. Not us, right? So, unlike the other shows which involve exploring empty space, the Gamma Quadrant isn't just empty space, it's controlled by a powerful totalitarian state called the Dominion that is sort of an anti Federation. If you know the Star Trek franchise, you'll know what the Federation is. So, the Dominion is basically, think of the Federation but in a kind of like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. It's made up of hundreds of conquered races that are bound together by fear and brutality. Unlike the aliens on Voyager or TNG, the Dominion wasn't suddenly created quickly to give the guys something to fight. The Dominion instead is planned to the last detail, and the entire DS9 story flowed so naturally to the point where you feel like you're looking at a real world and rather than a TV show. Not to get too ahead, the Dominion isn't only the only part of the show. Instead, it also involves the Cardassians, the Bajorans, the Ferengi, the Maquis, humans, and others. Basically, DS9 extends the arcs from all of the other TV shows, and it also tells more about each of these races and gives you a sense about who they really are and how they interact and how these races interact with each other. Also in this DS9, the bad guys aren't just bad because they're bad. They have a reason for being bad. Okay, that's wrong. They're kind of not bad guys, at the same time they're not good guys. There's a lot of gray. In fact, even there is gray in a lot of the stuff that Starfleet does. Like, for example, Cisco, the good guy, killing a high-ranking Romulan official because he needs to. Now, don't think that the Dominion are the only bad guys in the series. There are a lot more bad guys, or great, as you can call them, like Kai Wynn, for example, Cultucat, and Broom. Ah, yes, the bureaucrat. We all have to deal with them. True, right. DS9 takes place over the course of 7 seasons and it has a lot of episodes. It starts out with a little exploration and then it turns into a multi-layered story that will have you on the back of your seat. And unlike the Next Generation or Voyager, you need to watch the show from the beginning to the end for the story to make sense to you. The best part about DS9 is the Dominion War, and in the phrase in the show, enemies make dangerous friends. What is the Dominion War? Well, we can definitely say that it is a war that takes place in the television show and is a galaxy wide military conflict. Think of it as World War II or World War One, but in space, and results in massive amounts of destruction for all sides involved. In the war, the Federation doesn't win straight away, and in fact, throughout the war, it doesn't really win many battles. In fact, it's most of like the episodes dealing with the war focus on damage control and trying to figure out new ways to get out of the terrible situation that they're in and that keeps getting worse for them. This gives the impression that the war is a real military conflict, and some of the episodes uh, also examine the conflict of the different challenges of the war and the challenges it poses to the characters and their value, i.e., some characters change from being not funny, not serious, to totally being serious individuals, while others get the reverse opposite. We see character development. Also, for a Star Trek show, DS9 has surprisingly some really cool fight scenes and speeches like the following.
So 2 years ago, our government signed a treaty with the Dominion. In it, the Dominion promised to extend Cardassia's influence throughout the Alpha Quadrant. In exchange, we pledged ourselves to join the war against the Federation and its allies. Cardassians have never been afraid of war, a fact we've proven time and again over these past 2 years. 7 million of our brave soldiers have given their lives to fulfill our part of the agreement. And what has the Dominion done in return? Nothing. We've gained no new territories. In fact, our influence throughout the quadrant has diminished. And to make matters worse, we are no longer masters in our own home. Well, no longer.
DS9 has multi-layered characters that often change and learn from their mistakes and develop over time and throughout the run of the show. Basically, I'm saying that it's got complex characters who have real reasons for doing things rather than just being good or bad. And this is a positive for the show as a whole because it allows a sense of realism to the viewers and that these are real people with real choices and real consequences to their choices. Throughout the show's run, there were many characters, some were great, others funny, and some were just plain all bitchiness. Indeed, bitchiness, as I just said. You know what I mean. In a little while, I'll tell you all about that. Obviously, we can't talk about every character on the show, so here are a few honorable mentions that we feel will give you an idea about the show and its best characteristics. In no particular order, we have Gul Dukat. He is possibly one of the most dangerous villains ever put on television and is known to be a complex character who can be charming, kind, friendly, and many other things. But despite that, deep inside you'll still know that he is a bad guy with a megalomaniac complex comparable to that of Hitler, Napoleon, and Genghis Khan. Through the show's run, Dukat goes from being a bad guy to kind of a good guy, kind of to a bad guy again, and in the end, a total nutcase. Seriously, you'll find out what we mean. But he's still entertaining throughout the show's run, and he doesn't fail to scare the hell out of you most of the time. Here is a cool video of Gul Dukat.
Any attempt to board my vessel, I will consider it an act of piracy. Is that clear?
You can call it anything you like, but you're not going anywhere until we search your ship.
In that case, Commander.
In that case, you will do exactly as you're told. You will allow us free access to your ship so that we can verify you are indeed smuggling Cardassian weapons into the demilitarized zone. You will then follow us back to Deep Space Nine, where your cargo will be confiscated. And you will make a full confession detailing everything you know about smuggling weapons into the demilitarized zone. Then you will sign that confession. After which you and your ship will be allowed on your way. Is that clear?
I don't understand. You're a Cardassian.
I'm not just any Cardassian. I'm Gul Dukat, commander of the Second Order.
One of the most interesting and fascinating characters in the show is called Lajet Damar. That's Lajet is his title. Damar is like the surname or something. I don't know. I really don't. Alright, but Lajet Damar is a character that doesn't really get a lot of screen time on television, and he starts out as a sidekick of Gul Dukat, and as he's really just a minor character in the start with real no screen time at first, but then he expands and his character really becomes good. In the end, you kind of compare him to Spartacus or someone like that. So he's really cool, and he's a really cool clip of him.
On my mark. That's the Lucarian city. Legate Damar, I pledge my life to free Cardassia from the Dominion. With men like you on our side, how can we fail?
Next up, we got Major Carrion Nerys. With the tomboyish style to her, this former rebel goes from being someone hating Cardassians, Federation, pretty much everyone, being arrogant and a number of other things to being a confident and understanding person through 7 seasons of many adventures, some funny and others, well, let's just say serious. This person is really interesting and a real cool character. You really like her. She's kind of a bitchy at first, but then she really kind of grows on you. Quark. Quark is basically the bartender of the station and a situation comedy really kind of guy. Now, here's some basic facts about Quark. He's scheming, he's greedy, he's kind of malevolent, he's quirky and funny. He's a Ferengi basically. This Ferengi is pretty complex character as he transforms the Ferengi from being a one-dimensional capitalist species to something more complex and believable. He's really cool, by the way. And last but not least, we have Odo. Odo is one of the founders, but not one of them. Like, he's kind of like the other guy in the whole group. And this security chief has a sense of justice with a level of attention on a level of Sherlock Holmes. He's a great and important part of the plot. We're not really going to talk about him, but check him out. He's a great character, and you'll really grow on you from the start. Well, this sums up our analysis of why DS9 is an awesome television show and the best on the Star Trek franchise. Well, that's just our opinion that is the best, but if you want, you guys can include your opinion on it and which TV show or Star Trek TV show you think is the best in the comment section. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, tune in another time for another World Times video. Gotta go and catch you guys later.